Hi. 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 Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
How high are you? I mean, hi. How are you? Hey, we're pretty good. We're gonna be cutting vegetables, so we can't be inebriated. That would be unprofessional. So today's show is sponsored by water. Water, the life source that keeps us kicking, keeps us alive. Today we are going to be doing
The jalapeno sauce.
jalapeno and lime.
Yeah.
Delicious combination. It's one of crowd favorites because it is the least spicy of our bunch. So everybody likes it. Even grandma has a great time just chugging it from the bottle. So we're going to be doing that. Eric's going to be
Doing the red bell peppers.
peeling those and then separating them. And I will be chopping the onions. So again, kissing the girls and making them cry. All right. So
I believe we do have some news today. Also, we tallied the vote, counted every vote.
It took a few days to do this. This was you guys were so generous with your suggestions and everything, but we've narrowed it down to it was a tight race. Tight race. It won by a hair. Pubic hair.
That's what
we don't do that in the kitchen neither. That's why we got the face guards and everything.
Yeah.
It's still me though. It's me and it's me. It's DDP. We got Sexy Eric and Chef Eddie today. All right, we switch it up.
Right. So what do we call
What's
it
the
now?
name of the show?
The Saucesome Podcast.
There you go.
There you go.
Saucesome. Trademark. Nobody use that.
Hashtag trademark.
Yeah,
whatever.
there we go.
Just do whatever.
Boom.
What?
Boom.
All right.
Gang signs.
So last time we were here at L'Équipe Entreprise.
Yep.
So now we're doing this every time we're doing sauce. Now we're learning a lot with the process. James is helping a lot. Thanks again to L'Équipe Entreprise for welcoming us, helping us, giving back to the community. It's been an awesome time with them. Saucesome. Yeah. So we'll get going. Last time we talked about IWS. We talked about your past. You said you had a very, very funny Sid Vicious story, which makes me think of another subject for today.
Yeah.
Meeting people. Like, through your career, I think you met like a whole bunch of people, some normal people,
Yeah.
and then some would say
Some
famous,
not so
some
normal.
not so normal, yeah.
And stuff.
Some would say famous, some would say just normal people, whatever. So, would you like to talk about that today?
Yes. So again, we get to it's I guess in any field of entertainment, you run into different people. Yeah, you do certain shows. Some of my favorite shows are the festival shows. So when you get to wrestle at a festival, already there you're gonna meet a lot of people, especially if the wrestling promotion ends up getting these bracelets that maybe they weren't supposed to get and they end up being ultra VIP bracelets. So you're going to go eat with some of the bands who are like, how did we get this? And they made a mistake. You just keep your mouth shut and you just roll with the punches. So that's some of my favorite shows to do because, again, you're not even meeting wrestlers, you're meeting bands and stuff. And that's pretty cool too. Some bands that I had seen when I was younger, and then you get to watch them from the stage, or you get to kind of just mingle in the back and stuff. So just there. One of my favorite stories was I was on stage watching Billy Talent play, and again they're in their second album. I think the second album was out, and I was just on the stage. I'm wearing my first belt that I won in the States at Combat Zone Wrestling. I had their belt and I'm wearing it, no shirt on, with some Bermuda shorts. They had tiger on them because they used to be cool. I still have my tiger shorts.
Still cool.
No one's gonna tell me what's cool or not cool. Okay, so I'm standing there with the belt on, and then I'm tapping them as they're going off stage. I don't know. I just got on stage and I just ended up getting a good spot watching the show. And as each member is saying bye and stuff, and I'm kind of tapping them, and then as the drummer goes, I follow them right to the truck, and then they're like, hey, cool belt. And I'm like, hey, cool set. And then they're like, can we take a picture? And I'm like, yeah, if I can take a picture too. So, you're just there, right place, right time, meeting fun people, cool people that all like to entertain. And again, when it's not just wrestling, when you're meeting singers, you're meeting artists, whether it be anyone, whether it could be a painter, and if I got to meet Bob Ross, I mean,
That'd be good.
Again, there's some people that are just legendary in their field. So when then you find out that, hey, they like wrestling, so that's even cooler.
Like, who was the first one that you met? Like the first celebrity, whether it be local or bigger one, I don't know.
I think you might have included a picture in the last podcast. I think one that was a Tangerine Dream. For me, that was they got her at IWS. Like, so it wasn't like what wrestler would be good to wrestle SeXXXy Eddy. It was more like what would make his show even better. Like, we could have a special girl and stuff do something in the ring. So again, a Quebec name in the adult entertainment industry.
A
And
visual artist.
Yeah, I believe she also had actually a radio show. It made her more legit. I don't know.
She actually has a podcast right now.
Oh, still, she's still alive too. Oh, wow,
We
good.
could cross stream.
Well, yes, we could. We could cross streams. I don't know. That's a podcast term, I guess. There's nothing sexual there.
Nothing.
But again, that was for me. I was like, okay, what do I got to do different? Like, she's used to being naked. I'm used to being semi-naked. And
In the middle.
But that was, I think, the first time I'm like, okay, cool. And you get feedback that they had a good time. I mean, we're inviting someone, they're there for the money. That's like, right, you got to make a living. But when they're having fun doing it too, and then they talk to other people and they say, hey man, you gotta be part of these guys. These guys rock. So that was cool for me. Then when we started doing bigger shows, and especially at IWS, was known to get celebrity names. I believe, I want to say too, the first ones to get, let's say former WWE guys, former ECW guys. For that for me, that was some of the coolest guys to meet. Former WCW too. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Mysterio back then.
Oh.
Was he in WWE or?
I think, yeah, he was about to make his return, or I don't know, because here's the rule: you can't get guys that are presently in WWE. Right now, we got AEW, so let's compare AEW to WCW or whatever, or maybe to ECW. ECW were allowed to get guys, I think, that were part of ECW, the original ECW. But WWE is like, they're under contract. They can't do any. You can't even do like, hey, let's say you're buddies with someone and you'd be like, I have a comic store. Hey, you want to come down and sign it? Like, no, you have to go through all the red tape and stuff in the politics. But places like TNA, you talk to an agent and you can have them on your shows. Sometimes there would be a rule, like as long as it's not on a pay-per-view or there's certain, maybe let's say certain TV channels that are going to show it. It can't be, I guess, their competitors. Anyways, there's rules. But WWE, it's like, forget it. You can't get their guys. So as much as people would say, man, we need to have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come back because it's IWS's 25th anniversary, like, sorry, no, you won't get them even if it's their 100th anniversary. Until they're not with a contract or not on, I guess, Legends contracts and things like that, you cannot do that. So, and a lot of rules. But back in the day, I'm telling you, IWS innovated by having, first we got some hardcore guests. I remember our first international guest. It was Justice Payne, who was Nick Gage's brother from Combat Zone Wrestling. And he was in a ladder match. I think it was with the ninjas and stuff, the hardcore ninjas. So that was the first, like, wow, okay, we got someone that's not from Canada. And that was kind of cool because we were watching them on internet, YouTube videos and stuff like that. So we're like, man, this is cool. But then again, once we started doing bigger shows, we started having bigger names. And then sometimes it was a surprise. I was surprised how they were able to get some of these names. And it was really awesome. Like, again, Psycho Sid, I wanted to say, was a big one because it was our 5th anniversary show. And we had him as a special guest partner with PCO. So Pierre Carl he knew Sid Justice, Psycho Sid, and was able to get him to talk to him and get him on our show. And so there was like all these different tag teams. And then like the last tag team that comes in, or was them two with the music and everything. And when people saw Sid come through the curtain, this was also a monumentous occasion because this was the first appearance he did after his grotesque injury. It happened in WCW, jumped off the second rope. He lands on his whole shin is like spaghetti. It's graphic. Again, watch it on an empty stomach.
Don't watch it. It's frozen.
And we had him there first. The crowd went nuts. He did his stuff. He beat everyone up. He powerbombed. He chokeslammed. Crowd was going nuts throughout. Okay. Then when he took the mic, it all started going sour and downhill from there. He started talking and not making sense in true Psycho Sid fashion. He started talking about how if you don't take off your shirt and put it on backwards, you're not with him. And if you don't join him now, you can never join his group. Again, he asked for, he specifically asked for a small person to be there in the ring. He asked for some girls. He asked for a giant, a sand hourglass, to show that time is running out if you want to join him and stuff. And it got to the point where the crowd started turning on him from getting quiet to now, telling him to get off the stage, to shut the hell up. They were saying it in French, so he's not understanding what's going on. PCO's telling him in his ear, "Hey, we gotta go. They're turning on us here," and that was making Sid even more angry when he hears that. And then he starts yelling and kind of insulting the crowd. And now it was getting into okay, we got to cut his mic and stuff. So it got to that point. It was crazy to see this live. And my favorite Psycho Sid story, because I'm sure we all have some. I was going to the bathroom, and he was in the bathroom, crouched down. He's a big, imposing giant man. He was crouched down because he was doing the makeup for the small person. Now, the small person we had to get was, I had to do some phone calls because back in the day, I don't know, we just didn't know many small people. I mean, now I know a lot of my manager, my son, Lil Sexy, yeah, exactly. He's a small person. So now I got the hookup, I got the connections. And so we didn't know that many. So there was an announcer that would do wrestling shows in Shawinigan. So it's about an hour and 15 minutes away. And they had to give him a call, see if he was available, pay him top dollar because, this is a last minute thing. Psycho sits. Here's the image. Big burly man crouched down on his knees. He's doing the face paint to this small person. Small person doesn't speak a lick of English. And Psycho Sid doesn't speak a lick of English neither. It's just gibberish. That he's crouched down and he's doing the makeup. He said he had to do the makeup for the small person. That was one of his rules. And I'm going to the bathroom and he's just there crouched and he's gone, "You're a good midget. You're a good little midget." That's right. And the face paint, I'm telling you, looked like it was a kid from 5-6 years old that did it. So, and the midget didn't understand what he was saying. So he was kind of terrified when I talked to him later. And all this to say that that was very interesting. There was no cameras filming that. So this was all Sid being Sid. Is he staying in character? Is he playing to anyone that walks in? Is he showing how crazy he can be? Well, you know what? He had me going. So that was a great experience. The people that we'd meet backstage too. I mean, first time meeting, I think Christopher Daniels too was a big name on the independent scene. Again, for those that were only following WWE, they did not know who he was. But IWS fans, again, were a special breed where they was doing research. There was on the forums, people were doing in chat rooms, and they knew who's hot right now. Even if they're just staying on the West Coast in California, they knew that, this guy is something. So, having Christopher Daniels backstage too, you can ask him a couple questions. Some of the guys too, they're open books. Some guys, they're quiet. They've been flying planes. They just came back from Japan or something the night before. They're tired. True. So you got to understand that stuff. But when we had a lot of independent legends sharing backstage with AJ Styles twice.
Really?
Yeah, twice and stuff. First time I met him was at PWG in California. And I just went up to him, asked him if I could take a picture. I told him, I don't want to sound like a fanboy or nothing like that, And he's like, "Dude, we're all fans in wrestling world. How did we get here? You know what I mean? Like, you have to be a fan to like something enough to actually do it and practice it, So he was like all good. And I was like, after that, I realized, man, you know what? I'm going to ask people for pictures. The worst they're going to tell you is no, leave me alone. And I'm like, you know what? That's the worst thing they're going to say. Then that's fine. I'm willing to chance it.
Exactly.
You were in backstage. Yeah. Christopher Daniels. Samoa Joe was a great guy too. Super nice. Even one time we were doing a show in New Jersey for Jersey All Pro Wrestling. And Samoa Joe was, we're just all hanging out. We're all in the same hotel. Samoa Joe had a giant big room. And we're talking. And where everyone's there. There's me, El Generico. We're talking. And we're saying about like, yeah, man, we're like five in this room. We're crammed in there. It's like, how many clowns can you fit in this car? It's like, how many wrestlers can you fit in a Red Roof Inn or whatever, you know, in these small hotels? We've managed to fit a lot. And Joe was like really cool where he's like, oh, dude, I'm leaving. They're picking me up in about 2 hours. I'll be out of here. I don't even have time to sleep. So he was like, dude, you can have this room right after I leave. So, you know, again, really cool where at the time we're nobodies. Mm-hmm. So for someone that we look up to offer something like that, he didn't have to. He could have just left, give the key and stuff. But, you know, so again, a cool story. We weren't there to wreck his room neither. That would have been like, you know.
But
like
did you?
Like a Motley Crue party. You know, we shit on the ceilings.
Oh, okay.
No, we didn't. No, we just slept. We were tired.
On the ceiling.
But it was, not on the ceiling. In the toilet. No upper deckers. We shit in the bowl. So, yeah. Like nice, like good Canadians as we are. But so some of them are really nicer than you know.
Yeah, winding it back after Tangerine Dream, like
there's a lot of different. You know, again, Jake the Snake too. I met him on a couple shows. I've seen him at his lowest point, and I've seen him at his highest point. And the thing is, here's the difference: was one show, I got him. He's giving me a finger in the picture. He's giving a finger to the camera, and he's all hunched in. And he had just done crack with another small person.
Oh, okay.
What was his name? Farmer Pete. Farmer Pete. Oh, I love that guy. I helped him. He had to puke, but his legs, he was too drunk and his legs were small. So he couldn't go down the stairs by himself. So my highlight of that show wasn't my wrestling match, was me picking up Farmer Pete.
Okay.
And he's calling me a little girl the whole time I'm carrying him.
Oh, okay.
Right down so he can throw up, picked him back up, brought him back up. And he did crack with Jake the Snake.
Oh.
A couple years later, then I'm in Aurelia, it's in Ontario, and did a show. And Jake the Snake again, like, probably you don't remember me, sir. This is, he's like, I meet a lot of people, but he was standing upright, his shoulders were out, and this is the time with the DDP yoga and everything. And I was like, wow, again, I saw the change. Super nice guy. And after our match, he was clapping and he was talking. I was teaming up that night with Val Venus. And it was me and him, a tag team against Jerry Prophet and Tyson Dukes.
Oh.
Again, a lot of talent in that match. I don't know what I was doing there. But, I just able to slip right in. And Jake was really loving that match. He was like, talking to Val Venus. And Val Venus like, hey, it wasn't me. It was this guy right here. This guy with the big dick.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pointing at you. It was me. He's pointing at me. I'm pretending he's me. And I'm Val Venus. Yes. So I was like, that was very flattering. And then again, down the road, I end up teaming again with Val Venus. It's like sometimes you go full circle. Another great guy, Tommy Dreamer. Several shows with him. He's a great guy to talk to, and he remembers you too. I was like, again, I don't know if you remember me. And he's like, yeah. We tagged it in IWS, and we did that show, and I remember you did this thing and stuff. And so, yeah. It's always fun to feel like, wow, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Like, at least you're not getting blown off by these important guys, people that you look up to.
True.
So again, it's to all the young guys, and I'm pointing the knife at you, all the young guys, just because you have an extra year, 2 years, more than anyone else, that don't mean your shit don't stink. You know what I'm saying? It's just respect everybody. We're all in this together. We're all a family, and it's like, man, help each other out instead of kicking each other in the knees. Just we're trying to do, because you remember we're performing for the crowd. You're not doing the show for yourself. A lot of wrestlers forget that when they're like at certain points in their career, but like, yeah, you're doing this for the people. And if you want to go anywhere in anything, you do too much stuff for yourself, and then people know about that, and it's just like, yeah, you're not gonna get far. But anyways, more of the people. These are the people in your neighborhood. Yeah, in the wrestling neighborhood, you meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah, what stage of Val Venus's career? Because we'll close the gap on the Venus guy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I met him when he was not crazy.
That's
He was in the
what I was
top
gonna
of his
ask.
shape. We did a one-on-one. It was awesome. Loved it. I get my underwear ripped off during the match, and then I run backstage, and I was managed by sexy Leon Saver, and he takes all of Venus's moves. I come back with the towel and go into a cheap shot and go for get the pin, get the win. So it was just like a fun little story that we did
That's
there.
nice.
We had a lot of fun, and he was at the top of his game there. He was looking good. Then when we wrestled together as a tag,
Priscilla Kelly, I believe.
no, that was the third
That's
the
the
third
third one.
time.
Okay,
The tag match then was like that was like, again, he was still in good shape, but he wasn't. I think he had shaved his head already at that time, or he wasn't the same. He wasn't the same Val with just the towel and stuff. He was wearing a t-shirt while he wrestled, and that's cool too. And then the third time was we did a 3-on-3 against a bunch of girls.
Scarlett.
That all Scarlett Bordeaux, who's Cross
Carrying
Killer Cross,
Killer
Cross.
now.
Yeah, she's his wife.
Yep.
With Priscilla Kelly, who did NXT. I can't remember what her gimmick there was. I think she had red hair.
A very mild version of what she had in the Indies with the tampon. And
The famous tampon spot. Anyways, you could check that out.
Yeah.
But so and then Session Moth
Martinis.
Martina Session Moth. It was again 3 great opponents, and that was the main event at a New York show, and it was during the WrestleMania weekend. So it's fun. You go back and then you see people again. Here we go. So there was a show called Survivor, the first Survivor ever, and there was a bad guy in this show. It was so the first reality TV was just starting out.
Okay, we're talking about the actual TV show.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Survivor, and there was a guy. He was called Johnny something, Johnny Bad Guy, Johnny. They nicknamed him something, Johnny Liar, Johnny Traitor. I can't remember. I have it written down on one of my pictures, but so he was backstage at a show because he liked wrestling and he was doing a manager spot. Right away I noticed him and I was like, oh, we got to take a picture with him and stuff. So picture with him, really cool. While I was in California too, met a porn director and actor. Yeah, it's,
multitask, whatever.
Ed Wood. He had an Ed name, so I know I was like, I'm in good company now. And he just gave me a box full of his porn DVDs. And, I was like, well, from one Ed to another, thank you very much. So you're meeting people from different backgrounds. Met Vandal Vixen, too, was one chick known in Quebec for her
capacity to entertain.
Yeah, and fill the room with her
joy.
Her joy. We'll call it her joy or squirt joy. And so you meet different people and then they end up saying how they like wrestling, how they started watching wrestling, and then you're just like, man, it's cool. We're all there to make the crowd, boo, yay, react. We want the reaction. We want the emotion. So it's always fun to meet people. We were at the NoFX concert too. I was really drunk and my wife had a special guest pass and we were just talking and stuff like that. And at least sometimes you just mention something wrestling wise, or you're like, hey, this song, when you say this, and then they go back to childhood and they're like, oh, you like wrestling too. And then, you get to share that special moment. I think we're going to have to clean up on aisle 3. I was
looking for.
So we might have to get back.
I will need a towel.
Well, we're talking about all this excitement
now. And we're back, all cleaned up.
Oh, look at that. It's all clean.
Power of editing, huh?
Wow.
So we were talking about celebrities, rock stars, no effects.
My favorite, you know what? Again, my passion when I was wrestling was like when I got into ECW, that was really cool. Manny was like, got us our first cassettes because Manny always used to wear an ECW cap all the time. I think he took a shower with that cap on his head.
It's a shower cap.
Yeah, but he got some tapes and he'd bring them and we'd watch them and I was like, man, this is changing the way I'm looking at wrestling. So when you get to invite some of these guys, like at IWS, just from ECW, like, you're having Sabu or Ralph Van Dam. This was so cool, like to have these guys, Tajiri. They were all like man, I'm like sharing the backstage with them. I'm not necessarily in a match with them. Sabu, I did get to wrestle him. Um, and it's crazy. Sometimes you need to have a little icebreaker. You don't want to just get into like, oh, I want to do this. This is what I do. This is what, like, that's, it's kind of like, man, did you have a good flight? How long have you've been touring? Where did you come from? All right, cool. Like, oh, do you miss your dogs? This and that. And, just kind of get to know the person a little bit. And then they're going to do a lot more with you.
Mhm.
Same thing with, man, I did about 3 matches with Honky Tonk, man.
Oh.
And we had a lot of fun working together where we went out for sushi and, so when we're eating, we're not even talking about wrestling. We're just talking about like whatever, good times and things like that. I told my buddies, I said, hey, listen, I'll bring you backstage to meet Honky Tonk, man. But the guy likes his king cans of Budweiser beer. So if you come with a king can of Budweiser beer, as long as he's drinking it, I took this from him too. As long as I'm drinking, I will talk to you. When I'm done drinking, you either fill it up my glass or you get to the back of the line, my friend. I learned that from Honky Tonk, man. So my buddies came in with king cans each, and he's talking. At one point, even I remember we're backstage. Honky Tonk, I was just wearing a G-string, talking and changing. And then he finished his can, threw it down, still standing. I don't know. He reached behind and just magically pulled out another king can. I was like, he was just wearing a G-string. Where was it? Where? Magic. And that's a true legend right there. So Honky Tonk, man, with me, we're just funny talking about gimmicks and stuff like that. Like he's telling me, like, you got the good dick gimmick going on. I got the hair gimmick. So we're gonna work that together with that. Your power's there, my power's here. If you mess up my hair, you're gonna get me angry. And then, so it went back and forth, and it was really cool how we planned our match together. Again, Zack Ryder, who's back in WWE, Matt Cardona on the indie scene, wrestling with him too. I had my planned ideas. I know where I wanted to go, but I didn't know. You never know how the other person will react and be like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So he was super cool with all my ideas. And I know he had wrestled another fellow Quebecer, Michel Plante, and Michel told me the exact same thing too. He was open to all his ideas. And I think if you're a celebrity and this is what you do for a living, you're wrestling and you're traveling town to town, wrestling people you don't know them necessarily. I mean, if you want to research who you're wrestling now, it's a little easier. You can go on YouTube, type their name. Hopefully there's some videos so you get a little idea of what you're getting into. But every day, your life is on the line because you're putting your trust in this person's hands. They're lifting you up over their head and dropping you if they drop you wrong. So you're not working in the system of WWE where everyone has a similar training. They're all here to take care of each other, make a living, this and that. You might end up wrestling someone with less experience. So you got to be ready how to be safe with your opponent, how to land safe, how to sometimes negotiate to like avoid certain moves that, you know what? Hey man, I hurt my neck a bunch of times. So I'm going to avoid certain moves and I'm going to suggest other things because, hey man, you only got one neck and I don't need to break it on a show. There's no amount of money that they can give you for a show that's worth getting a serious injury and ending up paraplegic. So with that said, they are traveling every day, different towns. This is what they're doing for a living. But on the independent scene, you're wrestling people you might not know at all. So again, it's a very risky business. And as people will say, oh, but pro wrestling, come on, man, it's wrestling. There's still risks taken. And like anything we do in life, there's low risks. This is a higher risk, especially with people you're not comfortable. You don't know them personally. So if you can talk to them a little bit and then they see, okay, maybe this kid has a head on his shoulders. He's not just talking about wrestling, he's talking about this and that. So I got to have a lot of fun with Honky Tonk, man. I got to do a spot with Kevin Nash. This was great. I was just taking a punch. But that was for me, I'm like looking up to this kid. Again, one of the former, the pillars of the NWO. So cool. And he's so giant.
Yep.
IWS has had, we have the Dudley Boys too. We've had Christian Cage. man, from Eminem, we had Johnny Nitro. We did a show with Joey Mercury. I mean, we've had a lot of people come through, and it's great when they come to Montreal. I say this every time. Try and go out. Try and take care of them. Show them a good time. Show them a good place to eat. Show them good places to just hang out and not talk about wrestling. If you can give that to some of these guys, and they're like, man, word spreads out. Just like if a promoter is bad, stiffs you on money, something happens bad in the business, word gets around, especially now with the internet and stuff.
Wait, that happens?
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of that now going on. But if something is good happens, that's also, they'll be like, hey, dude, you got to work for this company, man. They take care of you. Exactly. They're going to bring you around. And then it just, you know what? That guy might say, hey, they're going to call you, contact you. We want to come down and work for you. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a special friend price, you know? And again, we're the ambassadors of our city. Yep. If you have people that you respect coming to your city, you know what? You want to show them what your city's all about. And it's just going to open doors. It's going to open and wrestling relationships and stuff. So,
natural human relationship in general.
Yeah, so. But because of that, because of all these guests coming to IWS, that helped make a buzz. That helped make people that weren't really wrestling fans, but that knew Kevin Nash, that knew, you know, like Psycho said, that knew these people to come to our show and maybe even check it out. So the people that you meet in wrestling, it's a lot of fun. And you do meet some that are late. They come to the show. They're all pilled out. Or alcohol out. I mean, I met Sandman at probably his drunkest. It was awesome as I wasn't wrestling him. So again, it was really cool to see that where I'm like, man, he can still work. He pulled the rug under for me because I mean, he was so drunk backstage, but once his music hit, he's breaking his can on his head, drinking his beer. Man, he was on fire, and he did a match against. Another late great indie legend. It was Trent Acid, and they wrestled each other. And Trent was on pills, and Sandman's on booze. That's nice. What a combo they did in the ring! No, it was really, it was surprising.
That's the expression. Once your music hit, you gotta get like in a third gear or whatever. Just
I don't know what gear they were on. I don't know what cloud they were on. But again, it was something to see. And again, then he passed out backstage and stuff. But again, a side note. You want to see Sandman? He's going to be at Joey Janela's spring break coming up, and I'm excited to see this match. And that's all going to be on the Mania festivities. But again, he's going to be wrestling the Invisible Man. That's right. Yeah. You heard Sandman versus the Invisible Man.
He actually got attacked by the Invisible Man.
I saw that too, and I think the loser of this match loses the name Man in their name. So it's either going to be that he's going to become invisible, or it's going to be Sand. And that's it. So, I mean, I don't know. This might be extra stipulations that they're not adding. I'm just throwing that in there because it would be extra silly. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to see how this is going to turn out. Because like people say in wrestling, it's fun to see some great moves and an extravaganza like an orchestra playing music. But it's also great to see a car crash.
True.
Just flipping and in the air and you're just watching it boom in flames. Like, what is this steaming pile of shit that I just watched? So it's going to be one or the other. I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. And with so much excitement, I don't know what's left to do.
What's left to do I'll piggyback on the Sandman thing and everything. We're talking about silliness of wrestling. You do have a world-famous move, hated by some, loved by many, the naked moonsault. How do you introduce that to someone that's not used to your specific type of wrestling, like Matt Cardona, for example? He's coming in very willing and everything. Well, how do you do what's your finishing move, kid?
Well, I think also that was one thing that he had heard about through the guys I wrestled. So I wrestled Matt Cardona at GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, which was super cool, super fun for me because again, that's one of the independent wrestling groups that's like right on the edge of independence and what you want to say, like, again, mainstream. I feel now with IWTV and the media, the possibilities, even if you're not on a recognized TV station, you could even be more popular than that. So the popularity is like, skyrocketed over the past few years. So it's really awesome. So I got to wrestle him there. I think he knew that part, what he was getting into, and a lot of what we based our match and how it ended and everything was circled around that, about losing the underwear and doing that something. Again, if you're going to do something really big, really special, make it count. Don't do it in a small place that's not being filmed, that's in front of a crowd that won't care. If you know your demographic and you know the crowd is going to be there, you know this is going to be filmed and seen by a lot of people, that's when you showcase some of these certain special talents and things that only you can do. Because once you do it, other people might be like, I can do that too, but I'm in a bigger platform. And then when they do it, it kind of then ends up belonging to them and stuff. So it's a tough business, and it's tough to innovate. It's tough to be creative when there's so many wrestlers all around the world. You got people that creating stuff in Mexico and Japan right now, and now every country has wrestling, which is awesome. See it in Thailand, in China, France, Italy, every country, in Portugal too. Every country has wrestling going on. So if all those people, their hamsters in their head are turning and they're creating stuff, you know what? They might end up having similar stuff, and it's possible. You got to have how many monkeys in a room if they're all typing on typewriters, that they end up writing gibberish, but they end up writing a peace novel or something. Who knows, right? So that's the thing. People will say, he saw my thing, he stole my move. No, there's no stealing and stuff. It's just like, who can use it more creatively? And if somebody does take something that you do, then you're going to have to evolve and make yourself better. Make the move better. Make the sequence better. And make it your own. Make it your own. That's the importance of having characters. You can have all the wrestling you want, but again, the crowd wants to relate, and the crowd wants to feel some of those emotions. So when they have certain characters that react a lot with the crowd and play with them, then you know what? It's a bonus. So being in the second rope, backflip with my nuts in my hand, you know what? It's something that it's in my arsenal. It's in my move set. And the people that know, they know, and they'll want to do it with me. The people that don't know, again, I'd be like, look, watch, it's going to work. You're going to see the crowd's going to go nuts and stuff. So,
it didn't make the headlines. What I liked about this whole weekend, if I remember right, though, it was GCW versus IWS for the whole weekend. One in Montreal, one in Toronto.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you had some special guests that were technically not invited to the place. Someone that you had to sneak in. Is there any way we can talk about the process of that, or is there a statute and limitation on that specific
I don't know
thing?
if it has to pass through time, but sometimes if you want to get people to where you need to get them, you got to do certain things, and you got to go around certain rules, I guess. So to have Nick Gage, who everyone was like, man, he's bad, he can't get into Canada, he's got a record, he's got this and that. Well, you know what? Again, IWS got him. So, you never count.
There's always a way.
Yeah. Never count your chicks until they've hatched.
Exactly.
And I mean, and that egg hatched, and it wasn't the gobbledygooker. It was Nick Gage. So he came with his pizza cutter and everything, and I'm in the ring. We're waiting to see who the last opponent is, and then the music hits, and it was just like, it was a moment that we're like, okay, I think we're going to be the bad guys now. I don't know. It kind of did a little switch on us, but again, it was really cool to have him be part of something like that. And the special guests, the people that we meet going down this crazy journey, crazy adventure, it's a lot of fun. I'm so excited. There's onions flying everywhere. It's good times. Thank you, professional wrestling.
Exactly. And like we talked about Billy Talent, NoFX, you said, is there any other musical artist that you've encountered through your career?
You know what? I got to hang out with Shaggy Two Dope. So again, that was that was interesting for me because again, one of my favorite hip hop artists, but also I liked them so much because they were the only guys that I feel that were in WWE, WCW, Ring of Honor when it was a separate entity at that time, ECW, TNA. I don't. There's I want to say Rhino. I want to say there's maybe a few guys that have done everything, but they were some. And the thing is, they weren't trained wrestlers. They just loved wrestling a lot. Self-taught. But the thing is, when they came to any city, they brought a lot of the juggalos. A lot of the fans came in, and that's something that I think that any wrestling company had to respect that.
True.
Hey, again, look at how many people they're bringing in. This is, again, dollars in our pockets. So it was a smart business move. And to see them everywhere, I was like, this is cool. And they put wrestling in a lot of their songs.
Mhm.
So I think for me, a kid growing up too, and I know for you also, again, very influential.
True.
And again, you've done doing the music business. Did you get to do any shows with some people that you were like, I don't know if you got to the point where you wanted to get to, or, there's always things that happen in life, and it's like people depend on, like, this guy quits the band. I feel a band is harder because you got a lot of members, and if one
Exactly.
person, it kind of slows everyone down. Wrestling is more you're on your own.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know how that's different. Sometimes, it could be a tag team and one guy decides, hey, I'm done wrestling, or he gets injured, or he gets a family and doesn't want to do wrestling anymore. So then you got to be a singles wrestler. But a lot of times a wrestler is solo. So as a musician, when you're running with your
My
crew.
very small career in the music
No,
industry.
man, we got to talk about that too. People
I was like,
want to
no.
know.
But yeah, through my very small career, yeah, you do have your own, like, you're self-taught again. You do whatever you have to do. You learn on the way.
Yeah.
And yes, I was heavily influenced by ICP. What I liked about it is actually, like, it merged the love for wrestling and music. And the idea of being a self-taught everything is also very important. These guys knew the industry. They started their own federation. Right now, they do still have their YouTube show going, Lunacy, GCW. And now it's harder, I guess, to be taken seriously in that type of place because you're an outsider in the music industry, and you're also an outsider, I guess, in the wrestling industry. So I don't know, in the backstage that you crossed them, like, were they treated like outsiders still? I don't know when you met them.
No, because I went to go see an ICP show.
Oh, okay.
And again, some of the crew that they had were professional wrestlers too. That on the indie scene. So I ran into Mosh Pit Mike. He told me to come on stage with them, and I've got Faygo bottles, and we're spraying, we're hosing everyone down. So I was like, this is cool to be on this side with people that I listen to. I'm on stage with them sharing, and I'm hosing everyone down, almost in SeXXXy Eddy character, with the ball here, crotch level, kind of like a war concert experience where I'm just shooting my ooze on everyone. The secret of the ooze was right there. And again, that was a special moment too.
True.
And then you just chit chat with them without the face paint is different too. But sometimes you're just starstruck, and I think that was one of the moments where I was really like, whoa, because I just seen them do so much on so many different levels. Sometimes a guy could be WWE for life, so it's one you only see him in one. But when you see guys being able to take their craft and be good in front of all the different audience, for me that was a bigger skill than staying at the same place and doing the same stuff like almost all the time. Like, another, again, two legends. We got to meet them together. I met him on a couple occasions. Mick Foley.
Oh yeah.
Presenting our check too was really cool. I got to say again, one of my lifelong legendary. Again, he innovated hardcore. He brought it to America and brought it to a wider audience. So meeting Mick Foley, we talked about quickly Rey Mysterio Jr. too. The lucha style of wrestling was introduced by WCW to me when I saw Rey, Psychosis, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho too. All these guys doing wrestling faster, showing us that, like, hey, you don't have to be a certain size to do wrestling, and there's different ways to do it. And I was like, this is so new to me. So seeing ECW's hardcore style, it opened up my mind and how wrestling should be. It's an amalgamation. That's a big word.
No.
I'm going to spell it underneath here. An amalgamation of all these types of styles, but they're all under the umbrella of wrestling. Okay. So I again, it blew my mind at that moment. I'm like, you know what? I want to take a little bit of everything. I'm not naturally gifted to be this big, this tall, but I really like wrestling, So it showed me that, hey, there's a possibility to do these things. Even though I met Chris Jericho, it was very brief, and I stumbled on my words. Again, another time I was a little starstruck, but there was a movie premiere for Fantasia, and Chris Jericho was in the movie Dark Match, and he was behind a curtain, and I seen these like rhinestone boots. These boots, like first off, looked like something from the Wizard of Oz. So and then Green Phantom, and with Animal and Green Phantom, and he's like, "Hey, come with me right now." So I go with them. We say hi to Chris, shake his hand. I mumbled a couple things. I remember I sounded like an idiot, and he probably was like, "Oh, what an idiot," you know? Yeah, but I was like, you know what? I still got to like, just hey, I shook his hand and stuff. And for me, he's someone that again was able to reinvent himself many, many times. One of my favorite sketches with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, The List, which people keep bringing back to him. But he's like, no, I'm not going to redo that. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to redo that. I'm going to keep reinventing myself. And I think that's totally cool because whatever he does, I think the fans are going to follow, whether they like it or they hate it. So that's the staying power of all these professionals in wrestling. Not giving them the same old shit. You got to keep reinventing yourself. So, yeah.
And as we're winding down, what's the greatest memory, like the thing that will scar you for life in terms of interaction with someone, whether it be like Sabu, you talked about Sid Vicious naturally, but like anything that you'll bring to the grave with you, like.
No, I want to share it. I don't want to bring it to the grave.
Oh, sorry.
Sabu. One thing I'm going to say about Sabu too. I broke the ice. I ended up having. I got a lot of injuries in wrestling, and sometimes you don't use all the painkillers you use, and you have some. So I made sure to bring everything that I had. Brought the pharmacy. My bag. I'm rolling my bag, and you're hearing the little chick with all the candies that I had in my bag. And so right away, I'm like, Sabu, hey, do you need anything to start? Before we talk about, if you got any pains or anything like that, I got some of these, I got some of that, I got some of these, in case you need. He's like, you know what? I'll take all of them. Now that was impressive, and we still did a wrestling match after that. So that was cool. But I'm gonna leave you with this last moment because I think we're gonna finish with this picture in my photo album. Meeting so a legend who's passed away since, but he did not want to get out of the truck because he did not get his medicine. So we did our match, and then we were waiting for him to come backstage, and then the announcer goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, the Iron Sheik will not be coming is not here tonight because of complications. Well, blah blah." Somebody yells out in the crowd, "He's in the parking lot." The whole place empties out. Okay, empties out. We just finished our match. I'm still in my underwear, and they empty out and they go to the truck that he's parked in. He wanted more. He was hitting the promoter up for more medicine, for more marijuana, more alcohol, and he was staying in the promoter's truck. He locked all the doors. The fans were shaking the truck, shaking it, and he's just yelling and being Iron Sheik, like he was Iron Sheik 24/7. So I went to the window and I'm like, "Hey, Sheiky baby," and he's giving me the finger. So with that, I'm going to leave you with that picture as we end podcast number 4. I mean, what better way to end the podcast while flipping the bird?
Yeah,
right?
Fuck you, Baba. With that being said, have a good one, children.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.